You ever have one of those weeks where you think, okay, maybe things can't possibly get dumber, and then the universe just laughs and hands you a front row seat to the show? Yeah, that's been my life lately, and let me tell you, sometimes revenge really is a dish best served by a third party, preferably one in a suit with a clipboard and the patience of a saint. So picture this. I live in one of those two houses, one wall setups, old school mirrored layouts. You know the type. Used to be, I'd barely notice my neighbor, this sweet old lady who kept to herself. She passes away, and the house sits quiet for a couple months. Then 2024 rolls around, and that's when a guy I'll call Mike Torres swoops in and buys it. Big shot construction boss, always looking for an angle. And apparently that angle involves stuffing as many workers as humanly possible into one tiny house next door. These guys, foreign workers, hard working, I'm sure. But Mike's rumored to be paying them like it's 1995 in their home country instead of, following the law here. You get the picture. Now, I got nothing against anyone trying to make a living, but man, these guys like to party Thursday night straight through to sunrise Monday. It's like Mardi Gras. Out my window, I'm wearing headphones, two pillows over my head, can still hear their music vibrating through my teeth. It's so loud, the folks across the street start leaving little friendly notes on my mailbox, and suddenly I'm that guy walking over at midnight to knock on their door. First time I try to be nice. Hey fellas, could you turn it down a notch? Guy opens the door, eyes half shut. Music blasting so hard I swear my hair moves in the breeze. He nods. Sorry, we fix. They don't fix. They don't even try. Next weekend, same thing. By my fourth visit, I'm yelling just to be heard. He just shrugs. We just having a little fun, Fun for them. For me, it's an endurance test. Eventually, I call Mike landlord privilege, right? He laughs and says, not my problem, buddy. What they do on their time, that's on them. Thanks, Mike. Really neighborly. So I do what you do. I start calling the police. Not once, not twice, a dozen times in 2 months. Sometimes twice in one night. It's a revolving door. Cops come, music stops, cops leave, music cranks up again. Now I should mention I'm a lawyer. A construction permit lawyer, actually. So I know exactly how little can be done legally about loud music unless you catch them in the act. It's like a bad sitcom, me, the cops, and my insomniac dog playing musical chairs at 2 a.m. I'm biding my time, hoping for something to give. And then one sunny Thursday in May, I'm working from home and I hear this racket outside. Peek through my window and there's a crane out back yanking the top off the old garden wall. No heads up, no note, just a full-blown demolition derby. Turns out over the years, the old lady next door and the guy who owned my house had built a little side structure sharing the wall as a divider. Well, Mike and his crew are busy ripping it apart. I know two things immediately. One, nobody told me squat. And two, you do not mess with a property line wall without a permit. And believe me, if there'd been a permit, I'd have seen it. I check city records, like some people check the weather. This was my moment. So I drop a quick, polite email to city authorities. Hey, pretty sure there's illegal construction going on next door. Thought you'd want to know. I hear nothing for a week, and I figure maybe they're done. Then suddenly more trucks arrive, more building materials pile up, and these guys are back at it. I fire off another email, this time with pictures. Less than an hour later, I get a reply. City called. Mike told him to knock it off, apply for a permit, Follow the rules like everyone else. Mike, true to form, tells them it was all a misunderstanding, promises to stop. Lies. Next morning, the workers are gone, but Mike's on my phone. You reported me, didn't you? He's mad, real mad. Threatens to come after me for damages. I just shrug. Didn't do anything wrong, Mike. Maybe don't tear down walls you don't own. He doesn't realize he's just woken the beast, and the beast wears a suit and works in City Hall. Because here's the thing. Not only did he mess with a wall that belongs 50% to me, he needs my permission to rebuild or even touch it. That's how the law works. So when he finally gets around to applying for a permit, I make sure the city knows he can't do a thing unless I sign off, and let's just say I'm feeling real stingy about my signature. Now Mike's got connections. Greased a few palms, knows how to schmooze. Somehow the city pushes his permit through anyway. He calls me just to rub it in permits approved neighbor. Sorry about your little complaint. But see, he forgot one thing. You can appeal any permit in my town for $100, worth every penny. The appeal board. They don't care who you know, they care what the law says. Couple weeks later, his permit is dead in the water, and he still can't touch that wall. 7 months go by. Mike's property is a mess, construction frozen half a building sitting in his backyard under a tarp, tenants complaining. But wait, it gets better. Because building without a permit isn't just a city issue, it's a criminal one. My report lands on the right desk, and suddenly Mike's facing fines, maybe even losing his business license since he used his own company for the illegal work. Oh, and did I mention if convicted, he can be banned from working in construction altogether? I almost felt sorry for him, almost. He tries to sell the house, no takers. Who wants to buy a property that's got a legal mess attached, plus a neighbor who knows all the rules and isn't shy about enforcing them? Developers won't touch it, too many headaches. And his plan to use the place as a halfway house for his crew dead, all because he couldn't follow the simplest rule, get your neighbor's permission. As of October 2025, Mike's staring down a criminal court date. His business is under the microscope, and the house next door is trashed, unsellable, undevelopable. The best part, the party boys next door are suddenly quiet as church mice. One even came over to apologize while I was gardening, said their boss blames them for making me mad. I just smiled, clipped a rose, and let him sweat. You know what's wild? All I did was nudge the city's bureaucracy and let it do its thing. Mike destroyed himself one shortcut at a time. Sometimes patience really does pay off. You just have to wait for the right lever and then let gravity handle the rest. Now you'd think after all that I'd get a break. Nope. Life's got a sense of humor. A couple years back, I bought this property out on the edge of town. Beautiful spot. 3 acres, big old barn out back. The barn's seen better days, but it's got soul gray wood, leans a bit, but solid as a rock. Used it for my woodworking, kept my stuff dry, never bothered anybody. Then comes the new neighbor. I'd actually designed their house a modern farmhouse, real showpiece, even won an award for it. They move in, and the wife immediately takes it upon herself to join the HOA and crusade against anything that doesn't meet her definition of aesthetic. Couple weeks in, she's at my door, tells me my barn is an eyesore ruining property values, and if I don't tear it down or dress it up, she'll make sure something is done about it. I try to explain, hey, it's a historic structure, predates most of the neighborhood county, says it's up to code. She doesn't care. Files complaint, starts a petition, even shows up at the HOA meeting with a full PowerPoint presentation, red circles around every weathered board. I'm not kidding. The HOA president, who's been here since dirt was invented, tells her there's nothing they can do. The barn's grandfathered and always will be. She's furious. Files a formal complaint with the county demanding the barn match modern architecture. That's when inspiration strikes. I write back, say, I'm happy to voluntarily make some changes, maybe update the barn to match the architectural character of the neighborhood. Specifically, I propose to the county that I'll model it after the most prominent home nearby, the one I designed for her. Full blueprints down to the trim colors and the windows. County loves it. Neighbor? Not so much. She calls me screaming that I'm mocking her, that I can't copy her house. I remind her gently that as the architect, I own the rights and I'm just giving her exactly what she demanded. Next day, she drops her complaint, but I go ahead with the renovation anyway. 3 months later, my barn is a better version of her house. Every detail improved, even stuff she rejected in the original design. Neighbors love it. Real estate agent calls, says my property value jumped 15%. And irony of ironies, hers did too. She's mortified, stops attending HOA meetings, won't even look at me when we cross paths. Sometimes malicious compliance is just showing people what happens when they get exactly what they ask for. And if you think that's where the story ends, you don't know my luck. I could go on petty kiosk, revenge in Portugal, high-stakes grade disputes in a middle school math class, and a cast of characters who seem to think rules are only for other people. But here's the thing, every single time justice found a way. sometimes slow, sometimes loud, sometimes with a wink and a nod from the universe. Whether it's a construction boss who cut too many corners, a neighbor obsessed with curb appeal, or a parent who insists on accurate grading until their kid fails algebra, there's always a point where the truth comes out. So tell me, have you ever been in a situation where someone demanded justice only to get way more than they bargained for? Drop your stories, your thoughts about right and wrong down below. Let's get the debate going. And hey, if you've ever had a neighbor like Mike or a Karen with a PowerPoint, smash that like button and subscribe for more real-life revenge. Who knows, maybe your story's next.